The brakes on my 322 have never really worked quite right. The left brake seems to function fine, but there's definitely something wrong with this right side. The parking brake doesn't function at all. And I can start the tractor without the brake pedals being depressed, which I actually like, but I'm just curious what the previous owner did with that brake safety switch. So today I'm finally going to get them working. First off, I just wanted to mention that these instructions are going to be good for any of the open frame tractors with the dual brake setup. So that's going to be 318, 322, and 332. And my first step is going to be removing the seat pan. If you're just working on the outer brakes like the drum and shoes, this is not necessary. But I think my linkages are all messed up, so I'm just going to take it off to have better access to all that. So let's get it off. To remove the seat pan, you'll first have to disconnect the seat safety switch and remove the taillight bulbs if you have those installed, which I do not on my 322. So I can move on to removing these 4 1/2-inch nuts. On my 318, these are 4 10mm bolts. Don't forget to remove the fuel filler cap, and now lift the back of the seat pan up over the tires. Be careful to not scratch the seat pan on the hydraulic levers up front. Once you clear the tires and the hydraulic levers, you can just lift it straight up and off. And now place it somewhere safe and out of the way. I just got the seat pan off and I can already see some stuff that's messed up with the linkage down here. So now I'll get this up in the air and then I'll pull the tires off so we can have a look at it. If you have the chrome hubcaps, they just pop off by inserting a screwdriver into the indented spot right there and then popping them off. And now remove the 5 bolts holding on the wheel. They are 5/8-inch bolts, but a 16mm will also work. And now just pull the tire off. Once the wheel is off, you'll see that large nut that holds the brake drum in place. And one edge of that washer is bent up to keep the nut from coming loose. So just start by flattening that bent up edge with a hammer and punch. Once that is flattened, you can remove the nut. If your parking brake is working, go ahead and set that, and it'll hold everything in place and make removing the nut a lot easier. If not, you should be able to just hold the drum while you break the nut loose. It really shouldn't be that tight. If it is stubborn, you can actually reinstall the wheel, lower the tractor to the ground, and crack the nut loose that way. Once the nut is removed, the drum should just slide right off, but mine was really stuck. I tried spraying some free all penetrating oil around the axle and tapped it with a dead blow hammer, but that did not work. So I stepped it up to a heavier ball peen hammer and still nothing. So then I broke out the 3-jaw puller. This is a really nice puller, so if you're interested, there will be a link in the description for the one I'm using. With the puller putting pressure on the drum, I added some heat around the axle and hit it more with that hammer. And still nothing, it would not budge. So I gave up and went to the other side. And luckily, this drum came off really easy with the puller. And now you can see why that first drum is so stuck. The drum has about 4 inches of contact with the axle. That gives it plenty of surface area to seize up. Now that the drum is off, you can go ahead and inspect everything. Start by checking the brake shoe lining. Look at how much material is left and check for any oil contamination. If you see any oil, there's a good chance that your axle seals need to be replaced. Next, look at the springs. The return spring should be tight with no gaps in between the coils that would indicate that it's been stretched out. And the same thing for the 2 hold down springs. And last, check that adjuster. Spin the star wheel, make sure that it's free and that it moves in both directions. If you find that your shoes are too worn to be used and they need to be replaced, here's how to remove them. I started by trying to remove the return spring with the pliers. And while doing that, the adjuster actually fell out, which really worked out because it let the shoes come closer together and made removing that return spring a lot easier. So from there, I just used a flathead screwdriver to pop the return spring off. And then I grabbed a needle nose pliers to remove the hold down springs, and then you can just pull the shoes off. With the shoes off, this is a great time to clean up that backing plate. It's probably going to be full of dirt and old grass clippings. It's also a good time to take the adjuster apart and apply some anti-seize to the threads so it continues to move freely during the adjustment later. For reassembly, you just need to stick the hold down springs back through the backing plate, and then position the new shoes one at a time using a needle nose pliers to hook the springs back onto the shoes. Once you have both shoes in place, you can reinstall the return spring. This is a really strong spring, so it's going to take a little effort, but with a solid pair of pliers, you'll get it. And then you can reinstall the adjuster. Before moving on, just spin that star wheel and take note of which direction expands the shoes. In my case, when I spin it up, it expands. This will matter when you go to adjust it later. Then I just applied a very light coat of grease to the axle, just enough to prevent it from seizing like the other side in the future. And just be careful to keep any grease off of the threads. Then slide the drum back on. I like to position the axle so the keyway is on top. This just makes aligning it easier. Then reinstall the washer. There's a tab on the back side of the washer, so just make sure that lines up with the keyway. Then thread that large nut back on, and the torque spec for this nut is 50 to 80 pounds. So I just put it at 60. And once again, if you can engage your parking brake, that will just help you when you're going to torque this nut down. Use your hammer and punch to fold up the washer against the side of the nut to hold it in place. Now there is a plug on the inside of the backing plate. We just got to pull that out. And that gives us access to that adjuster on the inside. I'm using my GoPro for this shot, so I'm not going to be able to focus really well, but you can see the adjuster, those bright parts right there. And if you remember, we need to go up to push the pads out. So we just got to keep spinning that adjuster up using the screwdriver. And then every once in a while we got to check to see if we're getting any friction on the drum. So we just want to keep turning the adjuster out until we get some resistance on the drum. Now we have just a little bit of drag around the whole drum and one spot that's catching pretty good. So I think we're adjusted just about right. I'm going to go up and push on the brake pedal and see how well it holds the brake. Pushing down on the brake holds the brake really well, but I think I'm going to release it just a little bit. There's just a little too much drag in that one spot on the drum. You just want to make sure we don't go too much. There, that's perfect. And now we can stick this plug back into the hole. Might need a screwdriver just to push one side of it in. Just like that. Now usually all you'd have to do next is come up here and measure this spring and make sure that it's 42 millimeters long. And you would correct that by loosening this lock nut and then adjusting this nut in or out to get the right length. But none of this is right. I don't know what the previous owner was thinking or if they took this apart and didn't keep track of how it went, but there's a piece of copper pipe in here as a spacer that doesn't need to be there, and I don't know where the factory spacer is, and we got a mess here. So I'm just gonna take this all off and start over. Now I have it apart, and I know I'm missing a piece that goes into this hole right here. It's like a plastic piece that holds this spacer piece. I don't know if it just holds it centered or if it actually holds this lever in place on that spacer. I don't know, but I know I'm missing that, but I'm gonna put this back together and see if I can make it work without it. I do have a couple of them on order, but I have no idea if they're actually gonna ever come. Hey, it's Nick from the future, and now that I got my 322 back together, of course my little washer pieces showed up. So I just wanted to show you, these go in that lever, and that metal spacer just rides along that just to make it move a little smoother. So if you're missing these, the part number is M85331, and I got these from the Green Parts Store and they were in stock, so I'll have a link in the description if you need to pick these up. So just go ahead and put the spring back on, this washer, and then the nut. Oh, okay. Oh. All right, now that I got this all back together and I pushed down on the pedal just to kind of see how everything worked, I'm pretty sure that the plastic piece that goes in here is just something to help make this slide easier on this metal spacer here. I don't think that it holds it in place or anything. So I'm pretty sure we're good to go to get this spring set to the right size. You got to do that measurement with the brake depressed, which is going to be a little tricky for me since I don't have my parking brake working yet, which is probably something I should look into, but we'll make do for now. So we want to get this lock nut loosened up a little bit. And we are at over 50, almost, let's see, that's 52 millimeters. Luckily, I've got my Chinese tape measure so I can measure in millimeters. So we want to run this in quite a bit more. Let's see if that changed anything. Okay, yep, that took it down to like 49 millimeters. So just loosen this up even more and run that in again. Test it there. Now you can see it's really compressing that spring. We're down to 45. That should be pretty close right there, I would imagine. Oh, no, that didn't really go in that far. So right about 44. I think we're going to be pretty much maxed out here. Yeah, that's as close as we're going to get, I think. So I'm just going to put a little grease on this spacer, and hopefully that will help this slide a little easier. That's it as far as getting the shoes inspected and replaced if needed, and everything adjusted properly. The linkage is adjusted properly. So really all you have to do now is do the exact same thing on the other side. But I want to show you quick how the parking brake works and how they were able to bypass that brake safety switch. All right, I got you over by the pedals now, so I just kind of wanted to show you where everything is. Obviously, we got the lever for the parking brake up here, and the lock for the parking brake is actually where this, I guess it's kind of a stud that comes through the frame right here. That is where the parking brake mechanism is. And then there's two little rivet heads right here. And these rivets right here hold the mount for the brake safety switch, so we can get underneath and show you a little bit better. So right here is where the pedals come through the frame. And if we come around to the other side, there is the brake safety switch. And you can see mine is unplugged. I'll show you what they did with the plug in a second here. So when the pedal's pressed, you can see that plate comes down and contacts and pushes down on that switch. And that's what creates the contact inside. I can't push it down all the way, but you get the idea. So the switch is right there, and then you follow across to the other side of the tractor where this is the bar for the brakes on the left side of the tractor. This dirty thing right here is a wiring harness that splits off right there, and this part that splits off and goes this way is the connector for that safety switch. And you can see they just took and looped a wire in through that connector and then taped it all up. So this acts like that switch is just always permanently closed. So that's how that switch is overridden. If I wanted to, I could just take that wire out and plug that switch back in, and then that would be operational again. But I don't mind having this switch bypassed, so I'm just going to leave it alone. And once again, this is where the pedals are coming through the frame, and right above that, right here is your parking brake mechanism. This rod right here goes up to that lever for the parking brake, and I'll try and get you a good view of how that all works. When you slide the lever over into the on position, it does this, and that allows this lever to rest on the plate on the brake pedals. And then when you push the brake down, and now that lever has fallen behind that plate, and that is what holds your brake pedal down. And then to release it, of course, you would just push the brakes down and then slide that lever back to the off position and release the brake. And that is how the parking brake works. So it turns out that it was actually the left brake that was messed up, and it was keeping the parking brake from locking. The way they had it adjusted, it wasn't allowing the pedal to be depressed far enough to engage that parking brake. So now that I adjusted that correctly, the parking brake works fine. And then as for that safety switch, there's not a lot of information about that. I looked through all of my service manuals and I couldn't find anything that says anything about the brake safety switch. I didn't even see it on the wiring diagram. So I'm not sure if there's any way to check that for if it's working or not. I'm sure you can just test it with a multimeter like any switch to check if it's working. But if you're having troubles with your brake safety switch and you're okay with disabling that safety feature, I would just loop a wire into that connector to permanently close that circuit. But if you do want to fix it, I will put up a part number right here, and I'll try to have a link in the description if I find any available that you can replace it with. And if you need any more information on the 322, I have a playlist for you right here, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.